Good evening. Thanks for coming out. My name is Bob Thomas, and I'm a history geek. So tonight's presentation is the stuff of a history geek with some spare time on his hands. So let's get into this. We have a lot of ground to cover. All right. Going into this is what started my thought process. You know, we have an old township, but what are the oldest roads in our township? How did that road system change over time to accommodate the growth? And what were the impacts from those road changes? You know, how did some of our roads get their names? And the bottom line is, I think this is on the premise that our road system network helps to tell the historical record of the township. You know, it has witnessed the growth. So tonight is like a 250-year-old jigsaw puzzle that I'm trying to pull into about 45 minutes. So with that intro, the other thing, if any of you have anything to offer, if I misspeak, please speak up, because I'm not here representing that I've connected all the dots correctly. So we'll see how this goes. I know, Richard, you'll speak up. Just don't tell me what you told me before is wrong. All right, let's start. I tried to go as far back and find a map. So I found a 1776 map. And our township has two roads that show up on this map. Lingelstown Road and Jonestown Road. You can see the bottom here, this is back when we're still in Lancaster County. You know, Dauphin County hadn't been separated out yet. The little handwritten circle there, that's where I estimate Lingelstown to be. So we have two roads that, if you think about it, witnessed the early settlement of not only the state, but the country. And if you can imagine the history that has passed through our township, you know, if you could wind back time and just sit and watch it, it would be an amazing story. So we have two roads. You know, a lot of times people say, well, why do you call it Jonestown Road? Well, back then, the next population center to our east was Jonestown, out in Lebanon County. So Jonestown Road got its name. It's not rocket science. A lot of times roads tell you something. It's why you have a Carlisle Street in Gettysburg, a Hanover Street in York, Harrisburg Pike in Lancaster. The name is telling you where that road went. So it was Jonestown Road. So we have two very old roads. Lingelstown Road, I'll dwell on that later, supposedly was originally an Indian trail. So it predates the settlers. I've seen in some publication it's called Fort Manada-Fort Hunter Road, which when you think in colonial times, okay, they were connecting two of the forts out in Manada and then Fort Hunter down on the river. Now, Lingelstown was founded in 1765. At the very end, I'll give you a theory. I think old Tommy Lingle moved the road on us. And then Route 39 is supposedly the first concrete road in Pennsylvania. So we have some history going on in our township. All right, Jonestown Road, like I said, it was early settlers, Jonestown to the Harris Ferry. Named for where it went, became Route 22. It was expanded to 4 lanes through various phases in time. The infamous, when is Jonestown Road not Jonestown Road and it's Allentown Boulevard? Well, I'll try to explain that tonight. Basically, Allentown Boulevard was a bypass that was put in the 1940s. Sorry, I have a cold. And I think the bypass was put in because the original Jonestown Road ran up through Paxtonia, past the Lower Paxton High School. I don't think it was conducive for widening to 4 lanes. It was pretty hilly. It was much easier to just carve a road into virgin farm ground. So I think that's what was going on. All right, found an 1816 map. The township has 7 roads on it. Linglestown Road, Jonestown Road. The beginning of Colonial Road is there, but you can see it. It only goes down to about Goose Valley and ends. Lock Willow's here. Lock Willow was the road into Linglestown, way back when. Blue Ridge Avenue's on the map. How about that? You know, we think all those blues was all part of a subdivision, but Blue Ridge Avenue shows up. Devonshire Heights Road, at least the piece, you know, going east from 22, shows up right here. And then we have Union Deposit Road in the southern part of the township. So, you know, we complain a lot today that our township is north-south challenged. It goes way back. You know, we've been north-south challenged for a long time. We got a lot of roads. Everybody was going west. Some of our roads are typically east-west. What I've done to try to, this could get pretty confusing. So what I've done is I broke the township into 3s. The southern part, the center part, the northern part, roughly Union Deposit Road, Jonestown Road, and Linglestown Road. So we'll go through each phase and I'll try to explain it to you. So back in 1852 in the southern part of the township, these were the roads showing up on the map. Spring Creek Road, this is on the very southern part of our township, often forgotten little road. But it's a prime example of, in horse and buggy times, you didn't go over a hill if you didn't have to. You took the path of least resistance. So Spring Creek Road starts out here by St. Catherine Labouré, about, I think that's 40th Street.
Right.
That's what goes back to Spring Creek. It goes around the bend, follows the creek there, and then it eventually meanders its way up and hits Union Deposit Road. Pfeiffer Lane's on the map. Leiter's Lane's on the map. This map doesn't show, but there was a farm owned by Leiter's out here. Conway's on the map. Rutherford Road. Where was that road taking you? Perfect. Because, you know, it comes down here to New Side and you found your way to Leiter's Lane in through, I think this is Page now.
Yep.
So that road was named Rutherford because it took you to Rutherford. I say Arlington Avenue question mark, this one I haven't figured out. At times I look at it, I think it's Arlington. Other times I look at it, I'm not so sure. Fairmont's on here, that's an old road. Cider Press that comes off of Union Deposit. You know, Devon's here, Knives Road. So those are some early roads in the southern part of the town. If you're on a road in our township and you're winding, you know, you can tell it's a horse and buggy road. So a lot of these are windy roads. All right, let's clear the air. Where's Union Deposit? Okay, you know, everybody, we all call this area over here Union Deposit. I think we all know where Union Deposit is. It's a little town down on the Splatter Creek near Hershey. So Union Deposit Road was the road from Paxton area all the way down to Union Deposit. Okay, the interchange over here on 83 is not Union Deposit. But it's just kind of an example where the road name has confused people. I mean, we have shopping centers, Union Deposit Shopping Center. It's not Union Deposit. So we got that out of the way. There's a piece of old Union Deposit Road still with us. And this is on the east side of 83. When you come over the hill right below the nursing home there, that's the original Union Deposit Road. That's what one piece of it that's left. And the sign correctly, you know, you drive by this sign all the time and you don't even realize that's the old road. Here's another one. You ever go to Lowe's and see there's a house off the park parking lot and wonder, why is there a house in the middle of all this commercial development? That was Union Deposit Road. It set on Union Deposit Road originally. And I think the story is they refused to sell. So, you know, but you don't even notice it. But it's there, and it's there because that was Union Deposit Road. All right, let's keep moving. If you go out Linglestown, or out Union Deposit Road, this is Nye's Run. And what's interesting, you know, it crosses the creek there. This is Red Top. This dotted line is me telling you where the current road is. This shows the original road going up the west side of the creek, off of Cider Press, and going up there. Something like that. Now, I haven't figured this one totally out yet, but that's what's on the map, so, you know, tonight I'll give you a lot of my personal theories. My personal theory is that original road was down in the creek bed and was probably wet and muddy. Yep, and somebody says, let's go over here and cut a road out on the other side here where we can stay dry. And that's what I think went on. But yeah, the original Nye's Road down at the southern part of the township is on a different place. All right, let's move up into the Route 22 corridor. A lot of these names I already gave you. Valley Road, that's an old road. Crumbs Mill. Houck's Road. Notice how it goes down here, kind of like it does now. Down here, makes a little turn and goes to Rutherford Road. You know, like I said, we got Fairmont over here. What we call Blue Ribbon. I don't know what it was called back then, but that road that comes out at the sheets there, that's an old road. And you can see the road to Linglestown's Lock Willow. All right, who can tell me where the name Colonial Park comes from?
I think it was one of the first subdivisions.
Bingo, perfect. 1919, and I think you're right, we think it's the first official subdivision in the township. And it's, you know, right here's 22, it's sandwiched between Jonestown Road and Locust Lane. 83 runs right up through here right now. This is Arlington. So the name Colonial Park comes from the first subdivision. I bring it up tonight because the street names tell the history. Lexington, Concord, Plymouth, Cambridge, Lafayette, Madison, Revere. I think you get it. So you drive through those roads and if you don't understand the history, that's where Colonial Park comes from. All right, here's a 1955 map of Colonial Park. A few strange things here. Not strange, well, this one's strange. Dave gave me this one. Britt Street was originally called Cyclops Avenue. Thank God somebody with half a brain and two eyes renamed it. How would you like to live on 101 Cyclops Avenue? So that's a little weird. And like I said, over here's the original Colonial Park area. Sheep's Church, we're going to talk about that. The cemetery's here. Where's John? There he is. This map shows the original Colonial Country Club. This is where the Sears Shopping Center is. It straddled Colonial Road. That'll be another presentation in the future, right, John? But I just thought it was interesting. There's the original Colonial Country Club. Yeah, where the shopping center is. Yeah, and the Brook Apartments on the other side. So I don't know if the holes was it split 9 and 9, John? Was half on one, half on the other?
Back 9 was on across the road.
Okay.
The road was played.
So
Anybody old enough to play that?
That creek that goes down through it, they had holes going back and forth across it, from what I understand, all the way through there.
ride the bus on Jonestown Road, and the bus driver was saying different things, and he yelled, "Shoots Colonial Road."
Wow, okay. All right, with that, we'll keep moving. All right, and you know, piecing together the dates in this stuff's a little difficult, but
That's the church.
That's where John Kepler got married, right there.
well,
No, it isn't.
okay. Now,
Oh, well.
so, you know, this whole interchange out here with 83, as I was putting this together, this is probably the area that cost our township the most. You know,
Yes.
we lost part of the Colonial Park development, you know? We lost Shoups Church, built in 1883, maybe even before that. We lost the Colonial Park Reformed Church. We lost the first EUB church. They had to move over 300 graves in the cemetery and relocate them. And actually, just the last couple of days, we found out that someone told me there were graves that had to be moved on the north side of 22. And we found out that a lot of those were Native American Indian graves,
Weren't they reburied in mass graves?
the ones they could find.
Yeah.
Some of them are still over there underneath that used car lot. So this whole 83 interchange out here cost us a lot. Yeah, but that's the old Shoups Church. That's Shoups. Then you had the Colonial Park Reformed. Well, yeah, it was a Lutheran church, I think, John. But look at this church. What a magnificent church. And this was supposedly on the northeastern part of the cloverleaf.
That's where we got married.
That's where you got married. Okay, hallelujah. So, yeah, I see his name in.
Wait, was that why they tore it down?
Yeah. But I mean, just look at this magnificent building, and it's lost. You know, the first EUB church was on 22. This was supposedly in the southwest corner of that cloverleaf. You know, another, like Richard, this is the one you said out loud, stained glass, I think. So I mean, you know, we paid dearly for that interchange. There's some markers over here in the Shoups Cemetery that denote the mass burial of the graves, and these are all earliest settlers. Whoops. They go back to 1775. So we dug up some of our earliest settlers for the darn road. So, heck, be careful where you get buried, I guess. So, yeah, we moved some bodies around. All right, let's go up Colonial Road to Crumbs Mill Road. It's called Crumbs Mill Road for a reason. Who knows why? As far back as 1816, I found a map showing the grist mill. Here it says mills. The grist mill, where they ground up wheat, corn, you know. You ever see those big stone circular things? That's what a grist mill did. So there was a grist mill down here, right near the Susquehanna line. And somebody said farms. Yeah, there were a lot of crumbs around, believe me. So there was a crumb out of big farm here. There's crumbs here, there's crumbs there, there's crumbs everywhere. GM grist mill. So it could have been called Crumbs Grist Mill Road, is what it really refers to. And that's a windy old road, so you know it's old. But that's right near, what's the road, Doney that comes out from Susquehanna, right, Doney?
It's pronounced Dean.
That's right there where those two meet, is where this grist mill was.
Spelled it.
So that's how that road got its name. All right. If they remote, here we go. Colonial Road originally only went down here to about Goose Valley Road, stopped. It didn't go all the way over to Windlesham Road. Now, this is back in 1816, so I'm going 200 years back. There's a piece of that old Colonial Road still with us. Right when you cross 81 across from Nantucket, you'll see the sign, Old Colonial Road. And that was the original road that went down here to Goose Valley. This was added in my lifetime, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
If someone knows the time, date, or I want to say in the 70s, 60s.
Valley was a dirt road.
But originally, you know, it went down here and out that way. So this piece here was added later. But it's kind of neat that we still have a piece of the old Colonial Road in this.
There's another piece.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. It might not be the one you're thinking of though.
Across from my farm on Colonial Road. By Sandy Falls.
I know where you mean, but I don't have that on here. I know exactly where you mean. All right, let's go over to Jonestown Road. You know, that was originally a two-lane road. We think this picture is somewhere near where Colonial Commons is now.
That's in 22 up on top.
Is that in 22 up here?
As soon as you go over, that's where the lines is.
That's where they just tore down the gas station at Rock Willow. That was in 22. Yeah, you're right, that is.
Yep.
Yeah. Another, you know, this is in 22 here. You can see the sign actually. So it was a two-lane road.
Looked like concrete.
Now here, somebody can help me out. I think it was in the 60s that they widened the road in that area to 4 lanes. You can see there's some serious excavation going on here. Sandy, is this the house that ended up being moved?
No, that's the farmhouse. It's the house behind it.
Is it the one behind it? Because what we did, when they widened 22, they actually moved a farmhouse. It was the old Park Sheasley house. Park Sheasley. They actually moved it across the field to North Hawks Road, back there in Devon Manor. And it's still there. I just got the wrong one, I guess. But yeah, so now we not only move bodies, we move houses now to accommodate our roads. All right, let's get to the infamous Allentown Boulevard. And where Allentown Boulevard starts is where Lock Willow and Jonestown Road were. You know, right by the red light there. And it goes all the way out to West Hanover. You know, out by Arugas. That's where the old Jonestown Road crosses over. So I call it a bypass because this was the original Jonestown Road. So we put this 4-lane bypass in. All right, 1875, here we are, here's Jonestown Road. Here's Lock Willow. This is hotel, that's where Inn 22 was. So Allentown Boulevard goes right up through the William Crum farm. Another Crum. They're all over the place. This is the William Crum farm. Now, this is Crumbs Lane. Right across from the post office is Crumbs Lane. Now you know why it's Crumbs Lane. It was Crumbs Farm 100 years before it was built up. Right there. Here's the post office is down here. All right, now, we didn't totally lose the farm. Who can tell me what survives from the farm? Bingo. God, you're good, Eric. Does that look familiar? That's the original farm barn. Of course, it's got siding on and everything else, but the original barn survived. Pretty neat.
Can you back up to the original picture, please?
Yep. Now it looks, you know, they build out the bottom, but here comes the lane.
Oh, that's the barn?
Yep. Right up through here. This is where the U-Haul building is now. But that's That's the barn. 22's right behind it. Well, not then, but, oh, here's an interesting thing. The guy I got this picture from, Marlin,
Nelson Parker.
Nelson, that's right, Marlin was one, got it from Nelson, that's right. I think the Crumbs were Nelson and Marlin's grandparents, I think. I think this was their grandparents' farm. What he told me was, they were the first family to buy an automobile in Dauphin County. And I'm wondering, is that it? Is that the first car in Dauphin County? Might be. Marlin's not lied to me yet. Everything he tells me is pretty much true. So it's kind of neat. But the old barn is still in use.
You know what year this picture was?
I don't. I mean, when would they have had cars like that? 1905-ish or? But yeah, that's why it's called Crumbs Lane. Right there. And then there, the barn is part of the U-Haul.
Was that Cirillo lumber?
No, that was.
That's your Cirillo.
Large building.
They were down further on 22, I remember.
Old
They were down half off.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, it might have been there before they moved out the road. I think you are right.
It is right, it is right.
Is that right? Let's go to the expert.
Noel Myers owned it, and, Harry Cirillo ran it from Noel Myers.
Good. You didn't get married there, did you? Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right. No, great. Thanks for confirming that. Now, here's an old postcard. Actually, Nelson had this, too. And I found this interesting. The new superhighway near Paxtonia between Harrisburg and Indiantown Gap. I mean, look at this, brother. It was a superhighway. That had to be before red lights, I guess. But, you know, it's kind of neat that it was a superhighway in its day. Here's another interesting piece. This is where North Mountain Road and Allentown Boulevard meet. 1955 map. Route 22 and Linglestown Road. What? Yeah, they called this Linglestown Road. Dave said he grew up thinking that was Linglestown Road. So fortunately, somebody said we can't have two Linglestown roads. And it just became part of Mountain Road. It also was the route for the trolley. You know, the trolley used to come in here, went behind Charlton Church, turned, and went over into Linglestown. So, and it was also called, State Route 894, had a route number. This is Lock Willow. It was Township 499. Then, Interstate 81 comes, I think around 1971, as I remember. As I researched, I think this might have been the last section of Interstate 81
Yes.
between Maryland and New York. We were like the last missing link. So, the interchange took land from a farm that is now the American Legion, right?
Yep.
That was your grandfather's farm, wasn't it?
John Stafford.
Okay. But where the interchange is, that land was part of the farm that's now, if you look at Linglestown Legion, the old part, and it looks like there's a barn, they built around a barn, they did. You remember that. And the old farmhouse next to it, that was the farmhouse, right, Richard?
Yeah.
So enough 81. All right, let's get into the northern part of the township. 1855 is the first map I could find with a road over the mountain. But guess what? It's not Blue Mountain Parkway. It's all Patton Road. You got Parkway West, Blue Mountain, Parkway East. They didn't connect. They went back here. Colonial Road now connects to Linglestown Road. Goose Valley's here running into Linglestown. Ball Phaser, you want to know where Ball Phaser comes from? The old house right on the corner of Ball Phaser and Catherine. J. Ball Phaser, right there he is. Jacob, is that what it was? Some more crumbs there, geez. Man. And then Wenrick Street, well, that went over to Wenrick's Church. St. Thomas United Church of Christ was Wenrick's Church. So that road was named because that's where it went. So these are some old roads in the northern part of the township. Patton Road, its name has historical significance. It was back Patton Road that the fortified house known as Fort Patton was. And there's a historical marker right there on Linglestown Road that tells you that story. So that's an old road, so it didn't surprise me that that was the first road over the mountain. Here's 1862, here's Patton Road. Goes back and up, hits what has become Blue Mountain Parkway. Parkway West looked like it was trying to do its own thing. Here's a little dotted line. But that's Parkway West there.
Patton
But-
Road ends at the mountain now.
Yeah. By 1875, Parkway West and this road off Patton Road now meet. Right there. As near as I can figure out, this is about where it is. You know, it kind of where that sharp bend is on Parkway West is about where I think the road from Patton Road came up through. All right. Now let's go back. 1858 map. Colonial Road didn't appear to me that it was intersecting with Linglestown Road, where it does now. This is Greystone here. The dotted line this is how it goes now, straight. The old road had a jug handle, came out behind Fort Gilchrist. So I did a satellite and like, holy heck, that looks like a footprint of that old jug handle. This is Fort Gilchrist right here. Comes out in the parking lot of this office building. There it is. So I think that's the original footprint of the original Colonial Road. Now, it might be a private lane now. There's some no trespassing signs, so I didn't violate those. But I think that's the original footprint of Colonial Road. And again, I think it was a terrain issue with horse and buggies. I think that was the path of least resistance to get to Linglestown Road. All right, now we're going to go way back. And this is probably maybe the most provocative and that I have the least amount of proof for. So, the old Running Pump Tavern, set on Eric's property on the east end of Linglestown, was the old oyster farm, if you remember. Okay? The important thing here is the tavern predated the town. The tavern was built in 1741. This picture's in 1905. Boy, it looks like it was built in 1741. In fact, I think this newspaper article was when they were getting ready to tear it down. Is that when they tore it down? So, Linglestown Road now runs here. So where I'm headed here is, it looks like there's a fence row right in front of the old tavern. And there you can see it a little further, implying that the road, which would make sense, if the tavern was there before the town, you went past the tavern. In that same, here's another old picture. You can see the fence here. It looks like it needs to be torn down. So in that same article, and I think they were interviewing who owned the land at the time, Then the road passed up between the brick house and the old tavern, on up in front of the barn, then across the meadow to the town. When the field is plowed, we can very easily take notice by the stones, etc., where the old road was. Dang. Tommy Lingle moved the road. That's my theory. I think this is how the original Linglestown Road, something like this. I think he bent it so it went in here into his town. Became the main road to his town. That's my theory. So, you know, that's probably the oldest movement of a road I could find. Like I said earlier, Linglestown Road was supposedly the first concrete road, Route 39, which was more than to our township, a lot of it in our township. 1916. I mean, that looks like manual labor. I mean, that doesn't look like fun. I mean, this looks like bags of cement here, sand. I mean, there's no cement truck backing up, dumping cement. They're mixing it on site.
There's a bowl mixer, big metal bowl mixer.
A ball mix, is that what this thing is in the back here?
I have pictures if I can ever find them.
I found this, you know where I found this picture?
Granite.
This picture is in the Village Pizza. That's where I found this. It's on the wall. So yeah, we make history. We're the first concrete road. This, who can tell me, Richard, what year is this car?
About 35,
30s?
36.
Okay. This is the funeral home. Here's the stone pillar still in front of the funeral home. So you're looking west. Here's the little square. What's interesting, there's a street sign here. Turn left on 894. That's Mountain Road. It was Pennsylvania 894 back then. So I think we've kind of reached the end, some conclusions. You know, our oldest roads witnessed the early settlement of the township and the state, the country. You know, we lost some magnificent buildings and farms through the years. You know, our roads have accommodated the growth in the township. They had to. Some of our roads have historical significance. Their names have historical significance. Our road system is still changing. I mean, we just lost Revere and Lexington out here with the expansion of 83. So in another 50 years, no one's even gonna know those roads were there. But we just lost 2 more roads, so 83 is like the gift that just keeps on giving. So I just wanted to thank you all for coming out. I know it's not necessarily the most sexy topic, but hopefully you found it interesting. Anybody have any questions, or can they offer anything? Yes, sir.
The Trolleys have been Mountain Road in Linglestown. Did it stop at the square, do you know?
I've heard that it stopped
Turn right.
At the Eagle Hotel.
Just reversed itself.
and it just reversed itself. Like it didn't go in there and turn around.
No, the Eagle Hotel.
Went down to the Eagle, and I guess they flipped the seats and flipped the electricity, and back out toward Paxtonia they went. And then it went up. Here's part of the trolley. As you're leaving Linglestown, past the...
Right over the Charlton Church.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was, if you notice where what's the bar? It was the Colonial Lounge, whatever it is now, Copper Pedal. On the other side of the road there's some hair salons and stuff up through there. You can actually see if you notice it goes up and then it's a flat and then up. That's where the trolley track was. That little kind of ledge on the side of the hill there, that was the trolley bed.
It went around by Castle Farm, where crazy. It went around his house and around on, there's a, remember there, Richard?
What's that?
The trolley, you know, went right by you. You weren't born yet.
You're right, John.
But it, yeah, it went,
It went by his dad's, or his grandfather's farm.
Yeah.
Around the corner there, the corner of a sharp curve there. Then it went all over
went out all the way over towards, crossed over, you know,
over by the church.
over by Colton Church, and then it turned there.
Then it went by King's Fruit Stand.
Oh,
Oh man, you're going way back now. Yes, sir.
Do you know how the route of 83 north and south was selected?
No, but in one of these slides, you can see originally, let me go back. Come on, it's here somewhere. Right here. It shows the road. Clicker's not working. Right here. To Pennsylvania Turnpike. What's LR? Legislative Route 768. So there was a two-lane road originally that came down, you know, parallel with Arlington. And I think it was on that footprint that they kept expanding. And then we got 83. So, you know, and then it kept getting wider and wider. But such is progress, I guess. Anybody else? Yes?
The one that had, you said Oscar Lingle moved the road over.
Tommy Lingle.
One of them. Well, what's there now where it used to be?
Right now,
The entrance to St. Thomas Manor.
right now it's Eric's farm.
Main Street.
Where's my, yeah, here, that's the old farm. Linglestown Road today ran in front of the,
It was the one where you had the red line across.
that one.
Yeah, what's, where?
That, the original, the brick house was somewhere around in here. The running pump tavern was back here. Eric's still looking for Andrew Berryhill's grave. You know where he's at? Okay. Let me know. This is Linglestown Road.
That's Blackberry, that's Blackberry.
That's the alley.
That's Blackberry.
That's Blackberry Alley behind, you know, on the north side of Linglestown. You know, behind the Village Pizza, you know, there's
There's still a paper street. Take Blackberry straight.
oh yeah, I took that slide out, I should have left it in, but yeah. In the old days, this went straight,
Yeah,
all the way over to Leonard Street.
exactly.
And there's actually a piece of that road still in existence. If you go up Sarah Street off of 39, there's a sewer pumping station on 39 on your left. You turn right up Sarah. You come halfway up Sarah, and this alley,
That's where I hope we're into.
the only reason I know is I grew up there, so. It ran right through our baseball and football field, and we could never, you didn't want to get tackled on the old road, because it was all rock. But yeah, you're right, that went straight across. There used to be a schoolhouse way back when, you know, up in here where the Beeble property was, if you remember that, that was a schoolhouse, so this went right past it. But yeah, that's Linglestown Road, and this doesn't have your house on it, Eric.
Go back to, no, yeah, one more. Yeah. See the stone in the front?
Yeah,
That was actually part of the left side of the Running Pump Tavern. There was a kitchen there. They took that kitchen down to build the wall, and then they put the road up against it, so it was holding everything back.
I know growing up, a lot of guys hit that wall.
Yeah, that wall would have been there pre-Civil War, because that house was, I think it was like 1860.
The old brick house.
The one on the left, 1860.
Yeah, the old farmhouse.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, this was the original running pump tavern.
Meese right there in the stairwell.
Oh, yeah?
That's who he is.
Yeah, you do see some folk. He did.
To blame me, I told
He did it.
Yeah, it was falling.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
But when did?
2001-ish.
Yeah. And the barn was disassembled and moved to,
Well, the original
Wisconsin,
barn
or-
was burned and arsoned, and I have the arrest record of the two guys that burned it. But that was built, I think 1903, just before the.
just before the picture.
Yeah.
But then that was the barn that was disassembled and moved to,
Yeah, Ms. Ister
Oh.
sold that to a Lancaster group to disassemble.
yeah.
And take it, and that would have been around 2000, 2001.
So that old barn still exists somewhere, and I don't know why I think Wisconsin, it went somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but they did take it
They
apart.
took it apart piece by piece
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
and moved it. Yeah, yep. This is right when you're coming out of Lingelstown and the road makes that S turn. That's where this is.
No, the campus.
Yes?
Why are there two different sections of Goose Valley Road that are separated by a couple of miles?
Well, Susquehanna.
That's in
Rethink.
Susquehanna
It's
Township.
in Susquehanna
Yeah,
Township.
that's Grand Township.
Yeah.
Take that question for a minute.
Do you know that one there?
What they did is in
Trying to
between,
picture it.
they did, development. And
Mm.
they just chopped it all apart.
Yeah. I mean, over in that area, Macintosh Road's an old road. That cuts over there. That's an old road. Yes, sir.
How far back is the railroad bed back to that pump? The pump tower?
Straight line,
Going back, is
the old South Mountain Railroad bed.
Yeah, is that on the pump tower?
Half mile.
Straight line half a mile towards the mountain. Yep. It would have come out where, is it Jacobs Avenue, I think?
Exactly.
Yep.
It runs right along.
Jacobs
basically the
Avenue.
Property line right into Jacobs.
And then it crossed Parkway East
Correct.
where the three-way stop sign is.
Or Nico's.
Yeah, where it used to be Caproon's Plant Farm. Halfway up that hill, there's a flat spot. And if you look to your right, you'll see the old railroad bed. It's still there. I mean, the excavation, they never
completed it, yeah.
never completed it, but that's where the South Mountain, and it was gonna go over and cross Lingelstown Road around the new firehouse. Was where, and then, so. Any other questions, or Richard? Oh boy, here we go.
What about the roads? Because nobody said how they built the roads.
No,
Where did they get the stone for the roads?
I don't know, where did they?
It's in this township,
In the
Tavern
township?
Road, back of Van Carl's farm. The township had, Jack and Sonny used a big dozer, and then H.K. Smith and Paul Mayer had a steam shovel back in Van Sparrow's property, and the township got a quarter a load. Randy Wolfenberger would stand down there with a board and mark every truck going through, and Van Sparrow got a quarter a load. Now, that's a lot of money back when they
Yeah.
built these developments.
And this was back where Patton Road?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That's where Jerry Superette started, put a little convenience store right there in the corner.
Well, how'd they break the rock up? Because that had to be, oh,
Wasn't that Red Shale?
Yeah,
is that what they were digging?
yeah. 98% of the roads in Lower Paxton are made out of red shale. It's very good when you put it down. After it gets weather, it gets soft. That's why Lower Paxton and West Hanover don't have good roads, because there's no base. You can take that to the supervisors,
And I want to make a commercial right now. Thank God. Stand up for a minute, Meatball. He's going to be here next month with 3 of his buddies, and they're going to talk about what it was like growing up in Lower Paxton Township. And they have some great stories for us.
We fib a lot, don't we?
But be careful about bringing the onions.
Yeah, we're gonna have to we'll go through that presentation first and edit it.
That was just a little commercial, so next month you don't want to miss him and his friends. Marlon Pottinger's going to be with you and his brother? No, you're going to be sick.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, you were saying like along Nice Road and Blue Ribbon. If I remember correctly from researching all the deeds, that was originally Beaver Station Road, that curved
Oh,
off of Nice Road, around Jonestown, then down Blue Ribbon, and there was a mill, I forget the name of the mill. But
there was an old mill
yes,
down there.
and sometimes they would refer to it in the deed to that mill.
What was it?
Beaver Station Road.
Beaver Station Road, wow. Thank you.
The creek got its name, Beaver.
Yeah, Beaver.
Well, it was Beaver Creek. Yeah, the grist mill was probably on Beaver Creek. It needed water. Yes.
I have a question, not concerning roads, but does anyone know the original owners of the building at Nye Road and Union Deposit Road where it connects? That big stone building that sits up on the bank.
Oh, the big house.
Yeah. Oh, it's gorgeous.
I know which one you mean.
Plant doctor owns that.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Was it Mangle?
I don't know if I have.
yeah, it's no fault. He's the owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick.
How long has it been here?
There was a legislator that years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to have that farm under the registry, historical registry,
Yeah.
and because they had changed the paint, they weren't allowed to. But we had talked to them because we used to use the picture of that house when we first started as an organization, because it was one of the most historical ones. And it was built just prior to the Civil War.
There was one picture I was trying to find and couldn't find it. You know, we lost the humpback bridge over Beaver Creek on Linglestown Road. Remember when they redid the whole road there was an old humpback bridge there, and evidently there's no pictures exist of that old bridge. Well, there's one on the wall of the F&B Bank on Linglestown Road. I think they have it on a big mural of it. But I was desperately trying to find a picture of that old humpback bridge, but then, Kenny.
That plant doctor's house, some old timer out there, I live out that way on the Snavely farm, told me that was some type of station that they would stop people traveling through years and years ago. Right up the road from there's a little brick building right on Union Deposit that's been there forever. It's the Pigeon Club of Harrisburg now or something.
Oh.
But that little red brick building's been there forever too. And I don't know what what that was originally
Well,
built
yeah,
for.
the pigeon, the one that used to be for pigeon thing, that was a schoolhouse.
Yeah, and how long ago it was,
Now the pigeons.
but that building's been there for,
Yeah.
I'm 63, and it's been there, 4 minutes.
What was the name of that schoolhouse?
Anyone know the name of that old schoolhouse? No, not up there. Sorry. Dave, I think you wanted to add a comment or?
I just wanted to say that on the Shoup's Church, we just found yesterday that St. Mark's Church has kept the stained glass that was over the original door, and the two sconces that were outside the door. And then the bell, if you go past St. Mark's Church, the bell that's in kind of that weird green pillared thing, that bell is the original Shoes Church bell.
Wow.
We just found all that yesterday or the day before.
I know, yeah, this has just been evolving by the hour. I mean, we were finding out new stuff over in that space, so. Anyway, Dave, thanks for your help, Joe. You guys supplied some pictures, dug up some things, and I just wanted to thank you all for coming out and putting up with it. Hopefully you found it interesting and